Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Moxie Infernape, and this is my battle for Week 7 of Season 6 of the National Pokeball League Majors, in which we will be going up against Razor Wolf and his Chicago Bewears. Alright guys, so I'm back with the team builder, as you can see here. So we are going up against Razor, as I said earlier. So Razor's definitely got a scary team. So I'll just have it on screen here as I will read it off now. So he's got Tapu Koko, Garchomp, Scizor, Dhelmise, Mega Gyarados, Crobat, Cresselia, Mienshao, Alakazam, Paliswine, and Heliolisk. So his 3 Z-move mons are Crobat, Garchomp, and Tapu Koko, as you can see. So yeah, he's definitely got a very scary team, as I mentioned. He's been struggling a bit. I mean, I have too. He's 2-4 going into this game, and I'm 1-4. So whoever wins can hopefully try to bring their season back and get back on the right track. Whoever loses is not going to be in a great spot. So hopefully I can win, get my first win. So it'll be a good time to do it. So it would be pretty clutch and pretty cool if I can do it. I already did like the first couple minutes of this, but then my computer just blue screened on me and messed up. So I'm not going to go as in depth as I did. But I didn't get too far into the video anyway, so not a big deal. But just big threats on his team. Tapu Koko and Garchomp, I think those two are absolutely coming. If he does not bring them, he is crazy, stupid, or potentially a genius, depending on how it plays out. But I think he should bring them, and I think he's going to. Because even if I prep for them, which I can't do a whole lot for, I sort of have some things for them, but like I can't do a whole lot for either of them, so I think he absolutely should bring them. Then also Crobat's a big threat. That I think is, I'm very confident that's going to come. I'm not like certain, like with the other two, but Crobat's a big threat. Then I don't really expect like Scizor or Mienshao. I don't think they do a whole lot. Then Paliswine I don't think will come. It actually does pretty well versus my team just in terms of it. I mean, just Ice and Ground is pretty good coverage for my team. But I don't know, just it's kind of slow and it's pretty bulky. But I don't know. I feel like it just doesn't have a great matchup versus my team, and I feel like he could find something else better to fit that last slot on his team. So I don't think Paliswine's too likely to come. I did see it in one of my mocks versus David. Yeah, thank you to David, Gypsy, and Riz for doing mocks with me. I don't think anyone else mocked me. I believe it was just them. So if anyone else did, I'm sorry if I forgot, but I think it was them. So thank you to them for doing the mocks with me. But yeah, so really the 8 mons that he will bring are, yeah, I don't think he'll bring those 3 that I mentioned. Then that's really between 8 mons that he'll pick 6 of. I think Crobat, Tapu Koko, and Garchomp will definitely be 3 of those. Cresselia is pretty fat and bulky, so it could be annoying. Alakazam's pretty nice. I don't know, he could bring it, he might not. I have some things I can kind of deal with it, like Victini kind of can, Slowking, but it's still a nice check to stuff like Keldeo, like Salamence, so it has some value in this game for sure. Mega Gyarados is pretty good. My best check to it is Keldeo, which I am bringing, but Keldeo really does not have a good matchup versus team. Like, if you look at his team, he has a lot of things that can check it pretty easily, like Tapu Koko, Dhelmise can switch in pretty comfortably, Crobat can also check it, Cresselia can switch in, Heliolisk can check it, Alakazam can, so he's got a lot of things that can outspeed and check it, so I feel like Keldeo does not have a great matchup versus him, so I feel like he will bring, yes, I don't know, I just feel like, I don't think he'll expect me to bring Keldeo just because it does not have a good matchup, as I said, but I don't know, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, then, yes, Dhelmise could be a nice spinner. It gets good coverage for my team, but Salamence does kind of wall that, so that's pretty awesome. Yeah, he has like Heliolisk. I think that thing could be Scarfed or maybe Specs or something, but I feel like Scarf makes a lot of sense versus my team, so yeah, that is what I expect from him. Now let's jump into my team. So with Bisharp first, okay, it's named Checkmate with the 8. For every time I win, that number will go up by 1. For every time I lose, it will go down by 1. That's just a fun little thing I want to do with the name there. Just wanted to mention that. But the set on Bisharp here is the Life Orb with Knockoff, Poison Jab, Low Kick, and Rock Polish. So running max speed and Jolly, so then that can outspeed a Scarfed Heliolisk. Even if he's maxed Timid, I can outspeed that if I'm at +2 from Rock Polish, which is pretty cool. This coverage hits, yeah, it really hits everything on his team. I guess I don't hit Mienshao too hard, but I didn't see that in any mocks, and I don't expect it to come. Even then, I think Poison Jab still does a good chunk, so if I could get a bit of chip damage off from that, Poison Jab can hopefully kill it. But yeah, Knockoff's just good stab, hits most things on his team. Poison Jab's really only meant for the Tapu Koko, but Iron Head does like 70%, while Poison Jab, I think most likely Okos, or it's like a roll that's in my favor, so. Bisharp's definitely, it can be big threat. Poison Jab, then Low Kick's meant for Mega Gyarados, and yeah, really just that. I think it hits Paliswine harder than Knockoff, but Knockoff hits, yeah, yeah, the low kick's really only meant for Gyarados, and I guess Piloswine. But yeah, knockoff hits really everything else. Rock Polish, it's going to be kind of hard to set up with this thing. That's the only issue. I could set up on potentially Scizor. I don't think he'll bring it, but possibly. Possibly Cresselia. He could bring Moonblast, maybe HP Fighting. We'll see how that goes. If so, that'll be a little scary. I can live 1 HP Fighting just because he doesn't hit too hard if he's not invested. But he can 2KO me easily. I can set up, though, the main thing I'm going to try to set up on is Crobat, as unless he pulls like a really interesting and weird tech in HP Fighting, which I don't think he will, and I don't think it's worth it for him to try to do that. Then Bisharp can set up on that, and that would be pretty cool. And then if everything's weakened down enough, Bisharp could just win in the late game, which is pretty awesome. So next I do have my Mimikyu. This thing is Shadow Sneak, Play Rough, Shadow Claw, and Life Orb, and Trick Room, with Life Orb being the item. So the idea here is I can get up a Trick Room. This is meant to set up a Trick Room late game, because I'm going to try to keep this thing just healthy in the back, and just probably won't even bring it in until it'll take a hit, and then I can set up the Trick Room, which is pretty nice. The speed, I think, is just, I think if his Cresselia is speed creeping Max Speed Adamant Bisharp, then Mimikyu is creeping that Cresselia. Or, yeah, I think that's what this is for. Play Rough hits a good amount of stuff, like Mega Gyarados, like Garchomp, Shadow Claw hits stuff like Cresselia. It does not 2KO, which is a little unfortunate, but still it's pretty good coverage. Then Shadow Sneak's just nice to hit stuff like Alakazam, Tapu Koko if that thing is weakened enough, maybe Crobat if it's really weakened, stuff like that. And then yeah, Trick Room's really nice. It works really well just because his team is so fast that if he does bring a faster variant, which I think he will, he might bring one of his slower mons like Delmice or Piloswine maybe, which could make it a little scarier to set up Trick Room. But if I can kill that mon, then Trick Room could really work out for my team, because I have a pretty fast team, but he's a very fast team, especially because I think it's very likely that he will bring Tapu Koko and Crobat, who are both base 130, which is immensely scary and very terrifying to face. So I think Trick Room's a nice way of dealing with that. I do not have anything to outspeed either of those. I'm not bringing any Scarfers. I'm bringing Trick Room on this, and I'm also bringing Trick Room on another mon, which you guys will see in a minute. Then this bulk, yeah, I have 299 in HP, just so I minimize 8% of health I'm losing from Life Orb. This way I lose 9% instead of 10, which is pretty cool. And then, yeah, because I will lose 29 HP, but if I had, yeah, I would lose 30 HP if my HP set was 300. I'll lose 30 HP, but with this I'm only losing 29, so that's pretty cool. Because Pokemon always rounds down. Then just the best in Spit F, because why not? Yeah, this is pretty good coverage for his team. This thing could be a threat in Trick Room, and hopefully Mimikyu does pretty cool stuff and can be a threat late game with Trick Room. Next we got Keldeo. This thing is meant to switch in and be pretty nice. Mega Gyarados. I was gonna say Mega Garchomp. Mega Gyarados check. Barring Bounce, this thing actually takes hits from it really well. Waterfall does like I think if he's Jolly, it was like 20 to 24 or something, and same with Crunch. So I can actually set up a sub on that thing, which is pretty cool, pretty cute. I can Toxic for the Cresselia mainly. I guess Delmice too. Could be a little scary if he switches into Crobat. I do have Icy Wind for that though. It is not 2KO. I'm running almost no special attack, because I just don't really think I need to, because I want to be bulkier. I believe this HP, yeah, I believe the 32 in defense allows me to not get 2KO'd by either Garchomp with no attack or Piloswine with max attack and Advent. Whichever one hits harder. I think Piloswine would hit harder. Whichever one hits harder, I can not get 2KO'd with by the Earthquake, because I have my lefties. So a fair amount of bulk, and then I don't really need to hit too hard. But then Secret Sword's just pretty nice stab. I can Oko Heliolisk, which is cool. I do a good chunk to Piloswine. I can't really hit Cresselia too hard, but I can Toxic that thing, which is nice. I can't hit Tapu Koko too hard either, but it's still just, I can Icy Wind it, I guess, and that can be pretty cool. Yeah, if he does not bring Mega Gyarados, and then if Garchomp dies pretty early, then this thing can be just a nice sack to Tapu Koko if I need it to be, which I might need it. I might need to sack mons to Tapu Koko. Because really how this game's going to work out, I think, is really just, I don't think he's going to go with like a super bulky team. I don't think he really can. I think he's going to go fast, just offensive, really like I am. And really it's going to come down to who has more sacks in the back in the late game, and really who can sack off a mon and bring in their bigger threat and end up winning from that. So I think that's what's really going to come down to, and just keeping your sacks alive and just allowing yourself to bring in your mons that can do the work and pull through in the late game. So Keldeo could be a sack, but it's pretty nice just to help deal with Garchomp a bit and help deal with Mega Gyarados, and hopefully prevent me from getting sweeped by that, because Mega Gyarados is a mon that he could totally just flip the game around with Mega Gyarados setting up and then could just sweep. So Mega Gyarados is just that kind of mon that's just immensely terrifying. So hopefully I can deal with that. I think Keldeo is a pretty good check for that. But yeah, the next we have Victini. This is a really interesting set. EV spread of a Lord. Let's see if I can. I probably forget what all these EVs are for. Actually, yeah, the defense. I probably don't even need those EVs anymore. Whatever. So yeah, my set: Trick Room, Glaciate, Blue Flare, and Taunt. With Shuka Berries. So the idea here, I have Shuka so I can check Guard Jump and then Glaciate. Originally the defense was so like no attack Guard Jump does not kill me after Stealth Rock, so I can guarantee live in Earthquake and then probably set up a Trick Room. That was the plan there, but I changed it to Shuka, so I guess I don't need that defense anymore, but it's still kind of helpful. The Spadef was so I do not get 2 KO'd by Shadow Ball from Alakazam, I believe. And then I think the speed on this was so I can speed creep Cresselia, creeping Bisharp, or no, is this? I think this is for Mega Gyarados, maybe. I think this, no, it's not. What's this be for? It's for, oh, no, it is for Alakazam. If that thing is at -1 speed, then I'll outspeed it. Because I can Glaciate to break the Sash, and then Blue Flare will hopefully knock him out. I think it's a roll, because I'm not too invested in special attack. I guess I could have put more defense in it. Or I guess I could have taken some of this defense and put it in special attack, so I can 2 KO Alakazam with the Glaciate plus Blue Flare. I guess I should have done that, because I don't need the defense, because I do the Shuka. But yeah, this thing can also be a decent check to Pilot's Line if he brings it. At least in terms of switching in, because I can take an Ice hit pretty well, and then I do the Shuka, so I can take a ground hit. But yeah, Taunt, it's just meant for Cresselia, really, just stop that thing from being super fat and just sealing up. This thing can beat most variants of Cresselia, hopefully. A Calm Mind with Shadow Ball could be a little scary. I think if he brings Cress, it will be Calm Mind, and I think he will bring Shadow Ball. I hope he doesn't, but if he's smart, he will. So this thing, it is pretty nice coverage. You can set up Trick Room. Really, the plan with Victini is I can set up, I can go for go for a Trick Room in the early game, get off some damage, just do some work with some threats, and then I can set another one up in the late game. With him here. So that's the plan with my 2 Trick Room setters. Hopefully they can work out. Victini should be able to hopefully pull through and do some nice work. So next we got Donphan here. We got a Custap set here. We got Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Flare Off, and Knockoff. The attack investment was, I believe, so I can 2 KO Mega Gyarados with Flare Off if he runs no HP. I think he'll run a bit of HP, but I didn't want to have to go like max attack to 2 KO him with Flare Off. I think he'll run max speed, or no, it's kind of close to max speed. And Jolly, so we can outspeed max speed Jolly Bisharp. Then I believe he'll be able to run like 88 bulk, like 88 HP, something like that. Which I still have a like 75% chance to 2 KO him with Flare Off, something like that. So it's still a pretty good chance. So I'm alright with that, with those odds. But really, the scenario for that to work out is so he'll attack me. I can live any one hit if he's non-boosted, and I can go for a Flare Off, then do a little over half, and then with my Custap, I'll be in Custap range and can hit him with another Flare Off, and that's the plan there. This thing is my, I guess, closest thing I have to a check to Tapu Koko. It is still scary because he could have Grass Knot, but this is my mon to at least prevent me from just getting totally fucked by Tapu Koko. That thing is an immense threat, so hopefully Donphan can pull through. I'll be a knockoff there for Delmice too, just because that thing could be a pretty obvious switch in, because outside a knockoff, that thing can switch into me really comfortably. Knockoff is a good chunk though, and I think, yeah, I can 2 KO him, but I'm not sure how much speed he's going to have, so I know he's slower than me naturally, but I don't know if he's going to carry any speed. I maybe should have carried some speed on this, but I don't know. Originally I was Rando Bear in this thing for Tapu Koko, but then I realized that's bad because he can 2 KO me still, and it doesn't really help me a whole lot, so I don't know. But yeah, Custap's pretty cool. I can hit hard with these attacks here, which is pretty nice, and I have a fair amount of Spadef here just to take hits from Tapu Koko and Heliolisk and I guess Alakazam as best as I can, so that's pretty cool. But on the last slot on the team, we have Salamence here. So we have a Dragon Dance set here with Roost, Dragon Claw, and Earthquake. We are adamant with this speed investment to add speed, max speed Jolly Mega Gyarados. So yeah, I'm running the Dragon Z move that's mainly meant for Cresselia, if he brings it, so I believe the plan, so I can set up as he switches into Cress, then Dragon Claw does like 31 to 37 or something like that, then I can go for, then I can hit really hard with the Z move, which will, I think it is a roll, but if I can get a little bit of chip damage on him from like Stealth Rocks or something, then I can hopefully 2 KO him that with, I can hopefully 2 KO him with that combo of the +1 Dragon Claw and then the +1 Z-move Dragon Claw. So that's the plan there. Earthquake's coverage, just for like Tapu Koko, I guess, really. Dragon Claw hits really everything else. Scizor I don't think is going to come. I guess I have Earthquake for it, but even then I can probably set up on it, which is pretty nice. I don't really need fire coverage for that. The Spadef here is so, I believe, Alakazam. If I'm at full HP, Alakazam does not knock me out with a Sash HP Ice. That was the plan there with this special defense. Also, I can live a Life T-Bolt from Tapu Koko, which I think will be Life Orb. But in case of these Specs too, I can also live that. I wasn't really like planning or trying to live a hit from Specs Koko, but I can. If he's timid, which I think he will be, because he'll probably want to speed creep with my, or speed tie my Aerodactyl. So yeah, I can take a hit from Tapu Koko if I'm full, from Alakazam, which is pretty cool, and I can Dragon Dance, and this thing could potentially sweep, which is nice. I can switch into Delmice really comfortably, which is awesome, because Delmice gave me some issues. But yeah, that's the team there. I think it's pretty good. I think his team gives me close to as best. I think, yeah, his team gives me a good chance of winning. At least as best of a chance I have of winning as possible. But yeah, I feel pretty good about this team. You really just, if I can get up my 2 Trick Rooms, really, yeah, if I can get up at least 2 Trick Rooms, I think I can win. And hopefully I can threaten them, and hopefully we can get our first win versus Razor. That'd be pretty cool if I can do that. And yeah, it sounds good. So I will see you guys in just a second with the battle. And yeah. Alright, so I am back with the battle, as you can see, my dudes. So, Razor brings pretty much what I expect. No Cresselia, which is kind of helpful. But yeah, he brings the Crobat, Heliolisk, Tapu Koko, Mega Gyarados, Garchomp, and Alakazam. So, I can see he brings a very fast, very offensive team. His slowest mon is Mega Gyarados, which is base 81. So, I'm definitely really liking the Trick Room in this game. My plan was to lead Keldeo, hoping he would lead Garchomp, because, yeah, in some mock battles, I would lead Donphan, and then, like, yeah, they would lead with Garchomp, and then, I mean, it would be okay, but, like, if I lead Keldeo, that's really nice if he leads Garchomp. So, I'm gonna lead Keldeo, hoping he leads Garchomp, and just hoping he does not lead Tapu Koko, or maybe Crobat. That can be a little scary, but, we'll see how this goes. So, I'm gonna lead Keldeo, as I said, as he does lead Heliolisk, so that's a little scary. So, I can live anyone hit from that. I guess barring Specs, Life Orb, I do not talk. I might have been able to live a Thunderbolt, but I expected him to either click Volt Switch or yeah, I think Volt Switch was probably the play I was expecting. So I do go into Donphan, as he goes into Gyarados, making a pretty nice play there. Expecting the Donphan switch. So I guess he does not have the yeah, he does not have the U-turn there, I'm assuming. He probably would have gone for it if he had U-turn there. So yeah, so I had Donphan in against Gyarados. I could have gone for the play rough, but I don't want Donphan getting so low. I want to try to keep it healthy-ish for Tapu Koko and Heliolisk. So I switch into Keldeo here on the waterfall, as I do just chew that. He's not going to Dragon Dance or make a nice. He's not going to make a kind of ballsy play and switch and be like Koko there. So I didn't think he would yet, but yeah. So I've Keldeo in against my Gyarados. I do make the read here as he goes into Crobat, and I get off the Ice Wind. I do a little more than I thought I would do. So this reveals he's. I think this showed he has a bit of bulk. So he's I think max attack and then max or nearly max speed maybe, with a bit of bulk, or maybe I just got a low roll if he was max speed. Actually, I think after the game he sent me a set, and I think he was just max speed and max attack, so I got a kind of low roll there, but not a big deal. So I do go into my Salamence here because I can take a Brave Bird, but he just decides to go into Koko there, which makes sense too. So again, so now this is a kind of tough spot. I'm gonna slow down the battle speed, but this is an interesting spot for me here. So I know I can live anyone hit from this thing. I can live a Life Orb Thunderbolt, even a Specs Thunderbolt I can live. He could carry Dazzling Gleam, even then I'm pretty sure Thunderbolt does more. So I can live that, and I'm not too worried. So even though Salamence could be a nice Dragon Dance sweeper and could potentially sweep, but I don't know. I don't think there's too much I can set up on. Maybe Gyarados if he's not Ice Fang, but it's gonna be kind of hard to find out if he's Ice Fang or not. Unless I find out the hard way that he does have Ice Fang, so I don't know, it's kind of risky, so I figure, you know what, Salamence can live his hit, so I'm going to go for Earthquake and knock him out. It'll definitely knock him out. He's not Air Balloon. He maybe could be Shuka. I doubt it, though. I mean, there could be weirder things, but I don't think he's Shuka, so I'm just going to stay in, click Earthquake here, and hopefully knock him out. But, yeah, so the Electric Train sets up there as it switches in, and then he goes for the Fairy Z move, and actually knocks me out, which was interesting. So I did not expect that, and I don't know, I guess for this very specific situation it worked out, and it was good, but I don't know, I felt like that was kind of weird set, because I think Life Orb overall is better, because, like, I think a normal Salmon set has, like, no bulk. I think he has a very good chance to go with T-Bolt, with, like, a Life Orb T-Bolt, I think, or it's, like, a decent chance, I think, or he's very close, so, I don't know, I felt like that was kind of weird, that he would carry that, because it's really, he doesn't need the Fairy Z-move for a whole lot. I guess it's kind of nice, maybe, if he thinks I'm going to go into Donphan, like, he doesn't want to make a super risky Grass Knot play. I guess it's a kind of nice middle ground play versus some stuff, so, in that regard, it's useful, but I don't know, I felt like Life Orb was overall more useful, so I did not expect that. I guess it worked out for him, so I can't really judge him on that, but I don't know, I felt like it was kind of weird to see that. But it is what it is, so I was hoping to knock him out there, and then if Tapu Koko's gone, that just makes me happy. One of the biggest threats, if not the biggest threat on his team, would just be gone, so that was my thought process there, but he did stay in, and he had the Fairy Z move, so that's a little scary, but we know he's not Life Orb, so he's not going to be able to boost his, he's not going to be able to boost anything now from his items, so that's cool. I think I bring in Victini here, maybe Mimikyu. No, yeah, I bring in Victini, and I think I tried to set up a Trick Room. Actually, do I here? I think I might Glaciate. I think I do. Yeah, I do just Glaciate. I think I maybe should have Trick Room in hindsight. I don't know, it's a tough play. I don't really have anything to get this Gyarados, so I'm going to switch out here, but I thought he would go into Garchomp since that seems like a kind of obvious switch in. So I did go for the Glaciate there, which can 2KO that thing. And I also do have the Shuka Berry. But yeah, he does go into this thing and choose that. So here, I go to Mimikyu. I forgot that he'd still hit through that, because he has the Mold Breaker. I forgot, and then right after he hit me, I'm like, oh shucks. But that's still okay, because I can still take a hit from like Alakazam or something, because I still have my thing up, I forget what it's called, but I still have that there, like my free substitute. I still have that there, so I can take a hit from Alakazam, or, I don't know, Crobat, like whatever I need to, I can still take that hit, so that's fun. I don't know, I went into this thinking he might go into Tapu Koko or something, because the switch into Keldeo was so obvious, and I don't know, I just thought he'd be a little more aggressive there, because Keldeo just seems like such an obvious switch in, so I didn't want to make that switch into Keldeo and have him go into Koko or something, because then, you know, I'm in a tough spot, and then I would have to switch into Donphan, and if he predicts that and goes for Grass Knot, I'm in a bad situation then, so, I don't know, I went to Mimikyu. I'm still okay though, I can click Clear Off. It has a decent chance of, I think it's about a 50% chance of outgoing this thing. I think it's around 50% if he has the bulk, I think he does. So I go for Clear Off and do a lot to this thing. Interesting they switch into this. I would think Crobat would have been a switch in because Clear Off just seems so obvious, but he goes in this. So here, this was an interesting spot. I wanted to click Shadow Sneak and just knock this thing out. It definitely knocks it out, even if he's like max HP, which I doubt he is, but it would knock him out, so that's cool. I think I go for Shadow Claw, expecting him to switch into Crobat, because I don't think Shadow Sneak 2KOs Crobat, so I do go for Shadow Claw here, and I do a good chunk, and that thing is now in Shadow Sneak range. So, I could click Shadow Sneak here and potentially knock him out. I opt to go for Trick Room, which I think was kind of a misplay here, because I was like, oh, well, while I still have the chance I want to get the Trick Room, I don't want to be so low to where I'll die. Yeah, I don't want to have to switch out, and if I switch back in, I would die to Stealth Rocks if we can set them up with Garchomp. I don't want to be that low from another Life Orb hit, so it was, I don't know, it was a kind of tough play. I mean, yeah, his play was probably to Roost there, just in case if I didn't Shadow Sneak, or if I don't have Shadow Sneak, but it definitely killed, so in hindsight, I should have just Shadow Sneak and knocked out the Crobat. Here, I think I'm switching to Bisharp just because I can eat up a Player Off, or not Player Off, a Brave Bird. Yeah, it still does a fair chunk, shows me his max attack, but he's right on the same amount of health. So here, I thought, okay, Knock Off is obvious. It knocks him out. I guess he doesn't know my item yet, so if I'm not Life Orb, then I don't knock him out. If I'm Black Glasses, I think I'd still have a pretty good chance of knocking him out. Not certain on that. Or maybe I could have been Sash, I don't know, but I was Life Orb, so I thought, well, one, he shouldn't sack Crobat here. I don't think he will, because Crobat, it seems too valuable, because I have stuff like Keldeo, and just, it can check me, like, it can check Mons later, because I don't have anything I can outspeed this thing, and I felt like Crobat was really useful late game, and I don't have a great way of dealing with it, so I thought he would try to keep Crobat around here, so I go for Low Kick, expecting Gyarados. In hindsight, I think I should have gone for Knockoff just because Garchomp would have been, I think, a little more likely of a switch in, but still, I go for Low Kick as he actually stays in, and that play still kind of perplexes me. Then he goes for he goes for that, gets off some chip damage, and at this point I'm just like, what? Well, here I decided to keep Bisharp around. This was an interesting play. I could have just gone for Knockoff, gotten up some good damage on this thing, but if he was, like, fully bulky, then I didn't do a whole lot, and he could have either shut up rocks or just kill me here. So I go into Keldeo here, as he goes for Earthquake, and this shows that he's offensive, and he's going to be able to 2-kill me. If he is defensive, I yeah, I would have been able to live too. So, and then said I should have switched into Donphan because of the Trick Room. So I would outspeed him next turn. So here I'm like, well, shit, I don't want to sack off Keldeo. I guess I'm just gonna go into Donphan here. I should have gone into Donphan the previous turn. That was a bit of a misplay there. But it's alright. Hopefully I can play it with Keldeo. Keldeo I'm probably just going to end up sacking. But still healthy enough to where I can switch into Gyarados fairly comfortably and can still live 2 hits from Gyarados. Barring a bounce, which I don't know yet if he has, because we've always seen his Waterfall yet. So, you guys go into Gyarados. As I do go for a play rough, I wanted to take like Earthquake, but I wanted to hit this thing a little harder in case we did switch into Gyarados, which he did, so that's cool. So I could, but yeah, actually no, I cannot stand and knock him out with another play rough because he will knock me out. Yeah, he will knock me out, and I'm not in Custap range yet. So, I decided to go into Keldeo, hoping and thinking at this point, you have not shown any signs of you trying to switch into Koko or anything on my obvious switch into Keldeo, so I'm going to go into Keldeo. I know it's obvious, but you seem like you're not, like, trying to read that. You're just going to go for the simple play, which could make some sense if I want to be a little ballsy, but I do make the safe play into Keldeo when it works out here. So, he gets a crit, which might not seem like a big deal and all. It wasn't a huge deal, but it was a little unfortunate. So, if he did not get that crit, then I am still healthy enough to where I can sub again, and then that makes this play a lot easier because right now it is a pure 50-50. Do I Secret Sword thinking he'll stay in and knock this guy out, or do I Icy Wind thinking he'll go into Crobat? Most likely Crobat, maybe Koko, but I think Koko dies to Icy Wind, maybe even Secret Sword. Maybe. I didn't run the calc. That thing's really low, but I do end up saying it and clicking Secret Sword. If I was healthy enough to where I could have subbed and actually lived a hit from this thing, and it would not have broken my sub. And then I could have, yeah, so I could have then been able to either knock out Gyarados the following turn, or if he goes into Crobat, it's still fine because I still have my sub up, and I could 2-hit him with Icy Wind from that range. So, a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'm still healthy enough to where I can sub now. That's useful, but he just brings in Koko and knocks me out. I could try going into Donphan, but I think, yeah, he kills me with Grass Knot. Yeah, he kills Keldeo with Grass Knot, and he also kills Donphan with it. Most likely, so there's no real point in going into Donphan. Here I bring in Victini. I'm like, okay, time to Trick Room, as I do take the T-Bolt pretty well-ish. Yeah, so I do set up the Trick Room, which is cool. So here he goes into Crobat, so I do Glaciate. I guess just because I didn't want to miss Blue Flare. Now this is a little scary. This is where this is where me getting the speed drop on him, which is guaranteed to happen with Glaciate. This is where the speed drop that was a little unfortunate for me because he could be slower than me now, so outspeed Trick Room. Luckily enough, I didn't have enough speed to outspeed Crobat after -1, so I do outspeed in Trick Room, and he was just max speed Jolly. So thank you, Lord and Razor and me for that play working out. So here brings in Alakazam, as he can live anyone hit because he's most likely Sash. As I just sack off Victini to break his Sash. I could have maybe gone for Glaciate. Maybe that would have been a better play, but I felt like it wasn't worth it because I could have missed Blue Flare, and all I really need to do is break his Sash, because any hit from anything else in my team knocks this thing out, even after Glaciate, which only does 25%. Still, I can knock him out with anything, but that's fine. So here I can bring in Donphan because I can live, yeah, because Trick Room's up, that's why. So here I just go for Earthquake, because he's nothing to really take it too well. So he goes into Garchomp. I do get the crit, which is a little unfortunate for him. So that did 70% with a crit, so it means if I did not get the crit, I would have done like 45, 46-ish, so probably not a 2KO unless the roll is really funky, but most likely not a 2KO with Earthquake, but I don't think that really mattered at all, because so yeah, he goes for Earthquake here, I live it. I still could have been able to knock him out with the Play Rough. I would have taken damage from his Rough Skin, but I still would have lived it, which is not a big deal, because either way I'm in Custap range, so I can get off another hit. He brings in Heliolisk, not knowing I'm Custap. He didn't really have anything else to bring in. I guess he maybe could have brought in one of his lower mons that dies to Shadow Sneak anyways, but it wasn't a huge deal in the long run, because I do have Trick Room on my Mimikyu. So yeah, his Heliolisk does die to my Custap Earthquake there, so that's pretty awesome. So Donphan just picked up 2 kills, which is pretty dope. So here I can just sack this thing off to Alakazam. Actually, I maybe could have... I guess I could have preserved Differential, I guess, and gone in Mimikyu there, because I wouldn't have taken any damage from that, and then I could have Shadow Sneak twice. I guess I could have preserved Differential there, yeah, I guess I had no real reason not to. I don't know, but it's not a huge deal in the end. Yeah, I'm realizing that now. I could have preserved Differential there, I guess, but not a big deal, because I can bring in Mimikyu, click Shadow Sneak twice. I know even if this thing's like max HP, which I know it's not, but for whatever reason, if it somehow is, I still knock him out with Shadow Sneak, so I could have played it safe and set up Trick Room, but I did not need to, and it didn't really help me at all. because I could have just clicked Shadow Sneak, and I won by just clicking Shadow Sneak. So Mimikyu picks up 2 kills, so I just play for it, but picks up 2 kills, and I have Bisharp around in the back, so we are actually going to be able to win that in a very narrow, very close, solid game against my man Razor, but we were able to win that in a solid 1-0, so we finally got that first win. The Baltimore Braviaries got their first win in the NPL, and it feels good. It really does. It was a kind of rough start to this game, especially after some plays didn't work out, like Bisharp low kicking versus the Crobat. Still, I don't know, I kind of disagree with that play, but it is what it is. It's Pokemon. Maybe he's a genius and totally read me there. Not certain on that, but good game to my man Razor. We pick up our first win, so that's awesome. We're now 2-4 because we took over the 1-0 record from Gator, so we're 2-4 now. That's cool. Yeah, we only won by 1 point here of differential. Yeah, I guess I could have won by 2. I didn't really think of that play until now, but it's not a big deal. Yeah, we're 2-4 with a -5 differential, which is all right for that record. So next week we're playing Sebastian and his Florida Alligators. Hopefully we can pick up a win there. He's got a scary team and he's a good player, but I mean, so is everyone in this league, so it's nothing different there. Should be a good game next week with Sebastian. He's a pretty cool guy. But yeah, definitely check out Razor. He's a cool guy. He's a nice guy though. He's a good friend. So Razor is pretty dope. But yeah, so hopefully you guys like this. We got our first win and it feels good. Shout out to Riz for this trade. It helped me. Really, these 3 mounds pulled through. Bisharp, I guess, didn't do a whole lot. Didn't do as much as I thought it was going to do because, I don't know, that one play. But Mimikyu and Donphan pulled through in the end, and they were awesome. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you liked this win. It was pretty dope. Next week we're playing Sebastian, as I said like 5 times. I'm just going to get up out. And yeah, I will see you guys next week with the game versus Seb.